Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of slime. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. I'm big time, big time, big time.
Welcome to episode 356 of Fourth and Jawn. I am Gail Saunders here with Evan Hollywood Hearn, Mr. Primo, aka Prime, in the building. Tonight we were talking a little post-draft team breakdown. It's been a minute since we got to kick it. We took a little week off. Just kind of recapping what's transpired. I know we did a draft recap show after the draft on where all your sickles were in the
Had to
chat.
let the dust settle a little bit though.
Yeah. So I mean, there's been some rookie camp going on. I mean, obviously you're trying to check out some of the rookies, get them acclimated to what's about to transpire, get them used to the game, get a little taste of the Philly vibes. I was just speaking to Hollis right before we got on. He said he wants to say hi. He'll be back next week. Has some family stuff to take care of, but he said he's going to have a rookie alumni barbecue next week with all the rookies. So he said I will have plenty of intel for the next pod, but that'll be cool. But I mean, overall, I mean, how you guys feeling? Are you guys riding the high? Are you ready for the next phase of Eagles football?
I am, but at the same time, it was like that draft is the little taste that I got, and I'm not going to get another taste until I guess you could say when the schedule gets released. But like that only carries so much juice. Am I right? I mean, the draft is obviously the big ticket item in the offseason because you're adding so many players in such a short amount of time. There's hope for the future. There's hope that you found the diamond in the rough this year. And to be honest with you, I think the Eagles found the diamonds among the diamonds, man. Going and having those 2 first-round picks, dude, that was a game changer. I wish Howie would be able to find a way every year to go into a draft with 2 first-round picks, even if you don't end up using them both, just to have that leverage to be able to do whatever you want in the first round. And Howie really knocked it out of the park, man. I mean, we've been talking about, losing guys this offseason, Hargrave. Obviously Brandon Graham's getting older, and then you just reload on defense. Dude, I'm so excited to watch this defensive line rotation. There's so many different packages you could put together, so many guys you can have on the field at the same time that'll cause so much disruption. The possibilities are really endless. So I'm excited just to get to it, man.
Bro, talk about being spoiled, man. I don't know. I'm starting to get used to this spoiledness coming from Howie, man. I mean, he's doing a great job. It was another outstanding draft. 7 picks. We went ham on the Georgia Bulldogs, man. It was just like nonstop. I'm pretty sure y'all saw our reactions as the draft was going. We were getting excited, especially with the Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. You know what I mean? I even knocked it out of the park with Ringo getting picked up. Like, I mean, it was just like, it couldn't have gone any perfect. And I mean, people are asking me how am I feeling going into the season. Bro, I can't wait to get to work, man. I can't wait to see these boys get the action. I know rookie camp was just this past weekend, and seeing some of the highlights, seeing these boys grinding and everything, I love to see it, man. So, I'm excited. I'm pretty sure the organization is excited. Today, some news about we got the toughest schedule in the league. I had a coworker approach me like, hey, look, Prime, how you feel about the schedule? Listen, man, what they fail to realize is not only do they say we have the toughest schedule of the season, okay, but we also have the toughest squad in the league. So just remember that. So I mean, I'm up for the challenge, man. I'm ready to go to work, see these boys put that action in. So I'm excited, man.
Mal's already in the comment section for you. Touches the mic. What's up?
I'm cooking up, man. I was about to tell Gail, get me out the bathroom, man. He don't be looking. Nah, excited, man. I caught the early part, had to finish some work stuff up and then jump on. Yeah, we was hanging with E-Rock and them boys. But yeah, to Prime's point, like I'm so happy that the Eagles are coming in as this underdog, bro. Right? That like everybody's looking at the Eagles now and like, yo, y'all washed, y'all wasted money on Jalen. That's a horrible contract. Y'all got these hurt running backs. Your defense is shredded. We just all of a sudden trash, bro. Right? Like, all of a sudden, this team returning like 70% of their squad is like the worst team in the NFL. So I'm here for it because that's how I like it anyway, right? Like those hungry dogs run faster. So better to be slept on than where we were last year, where we was just kicking everybody's ass. You know, eventually you gotta lose. You know, I'm not standing on 17-0 business, but I feel real good about this football team. And I'd rather them win 14 games and show a couple losses and then show some, you know, resiliency going into the playoffs versus just being hot the whole year. And then, you know, it fucks your mentals up, man. You can't be locked in, right? So I'm excited. Oh, y'all can see I'm geeked up, man. See the Sixers hats, man. Yeah, let's go. The city is lit, man. Let's go.
And for all the people that are out there that like, you know, making those claims that we've taken some sort of step back, like I just have a genuine question in that, like, and I know that what I'm about to say, like excluding two positions, that being linebacker and safety, what is the weakness on this team? Because I mean, anyone can point to those two things, but like, but when you factor in the defensive line rotation, like being weak at linebacker, is it really that much of like the defensive line is going to penetrate?
I mean, they're going to try and make up things where, like, you're like, oh, we start talking about punters.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's wet. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was. Last year, I remember going into the season, and you remember, like, there was a lot of people. I had a little post-it note over here, and I was keeping track of all the people that were talking garbage on Sitboss, and that's because I believed in the Sitboss going into last year. You know what? He had a tough year. You guys were right. But I will say that, like, I had that mentality going into last year where I'm like, dude, if our biggest concern right now is punter, we're fucking good. We don't got nothing to worry about.
You know, the safety position the safety position is where people will look at, and again, obviously, you know, I don't believe the linebacker room is set yet. So I think they're looking. You know, they're looking, but it's early. So I mean,
and Nakobe's gonna like
how we always cooking, bro.
Like Nakobe hardly played last year, so it's like an afterthought.
They're going to try to find everything and anything to go ahead and talk about this team, man. And it's all good. It's like Mal said, I'm all for it, man. You know what I mean? This is what we're here for. Just keep on bringing this shit. You know what I mean? We're going to have something to answer the question, so it's all good.
And in the end of the day, I feel like we probably see the best year of Jalen Hurts because I feel like the passing offense is going to take another step forward, right? With Brian Johnson, with just that synergy between those two. I honestly think we see, like, just looking at his advanced stats from the first year starting to this year, the jump he took was astronomical. And like, this team is better now, in my opinion. They're better situated to do whatever they need to do, if they need to run, if they need to pass. So I think we see the best year of Jalen Hurts, which is saying a lot because my son finished second in the MVP voting, right? And so I think this year we see him take the helm of the best quarterback in the NFC. And so a lot of the stuff we're talking about, Jalen Hurts is going to make up for some of this stuff, man, right? Like, we might not have that number one defense in the league again. We don't need them. We need a top 10 to 12 defense that could get teams off the field when it counts, right? Like, that's what we missed in the Super Bowl. We could not get Kansas City off the field when it counted. I think we have the players, the system. I'm hoping Desai comes in with some unique wrinkles. And yo, bro, I'm excited. I'm arguably more excited this year than I was last year. And I know that sounds wild, but I think that again.
20-0 last year.
Actually, you feel you now you know how geeked up I really am. I'm not caught up in the record. I'm caught up in the progression of the players. We got a lot of young dudes that are going to take a gigantic leap forward. Jordan Davis got shit talked about him all year long. Nakobe Dean got shit talked about him all year long. Jalen Carter has been shitted on the whole draft process. Everybody's saying the Reddick's too small. Kelly Ringo stiff the hips. So got a lot of people that have stuff to prove. Not like that's the energy that I want to see from this team, and I think that's what could carry us a long way.
Now, you know, to your point, like, all these players have a lot to prove. You talk about DeAndre Swift, you talk about Penny. These are all guys. Some of these guys are on like 1-year deals, but the whole atmosphere of like a competitive nature, brotherly, love nature in the locker room. I think the whole unit from the coaches on, I think this whole place is clicking, and it's turning into a destination place for me where it's great to see. It's lovely to see, and you see people start feeling a little bit, other fan bases feeling a little weird. They start talking to you about your right, like no one asked you right now.
Well, you think
but
about
they're
too.
nervous.
You think about the pillars of this team, of the locker room. You think about guys Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox. Like these are all guys that we've been able to retain, and I view them as very valuable pieces to our team, not only for what they do on the field, but for what they bring in the locker room, the way that they're able to coach up young players, and the fact that we have all four of these guys, all these rookies coming in, they have all the guidance in the world. So. Yeah.
And like, look, and with those four dudes, right, they're really hard workers. Our quarterback is a really hard worker. Our wide receiver room's filled with really hard workers. O-line room, D-line room, linebacker, like safety room. Our coaches work their asses off. Our front office be working their tail off. And so, like that, have we ever really seen that level of synergy throughout the entire organization, right? Like, I think even when we won in 2017, it was still disconnect. Clearly, because when you look at what happened afterwards and like how quickly things sort of dissipated, the writing was sort of on the wall at that point. Everything coalesced at the perfect time. I feel like this organization, from the front office to the coaching staff to the players, is just so in alignment, man. And like, even if it's not this year, we're in the mix for the next several years. And there aren't a lot of teams, in my opinion, across the NFL that can say that.
But to your point, like when you talk about the synergy and everybody being on the same page, that's something that I am seeing mostly in the draft process. I think that there has been a evolution in the Eagles draft philosophy over the past few years where they, instead of just having scouts like, this is my guy, and everybody just has their guy, everybody gets onto the same page before the draft, and there is a collective board for the room, is what it feels like. And so I think that just having that, continuity across the board of everybody being on the same page when you're going after crucial draft pieces. I mean, that's been all the difference.
You mentioned about my bad. You mentioned about being on the same page, and the one thing that I love, you named 5 players there that I see as being our 5 captains. 3 of them were already talking about retiring. We ended up convincing them to come back. Lane Johnson still got some time in him. Jalen Hurts just signed that contract. I mean, bro, 5 players that are going to take that big brother role in that locker room is is definitely something to be excited about, because these men are going to keep these boys in check.
Yep.
I mean, those were the things that we were worried about the past few years. The swag of these rookies coming into the locker room, kind of changing things, maybe divided. I don't know. Everybody had their differences, but with these 5 guys, they're going to keep these boys in check. And then going into the season, it's just like, that's what you're looking for. The fact that we were able to retain these guys was key, was real big. And I'm glad that that's what they focused on first before they even got anywhere else. And I think that's going to really play a big factor later on down the line before the season starts.
Yeah. Before we go any further, I just have to ask you guys, did you see that Elliott Shore Parks-esque hit piece that was put out on Jalen Carter earlier today?
No,
today
I don't.
It wasn't put out by ESP. Before people say that's who I say, I'm saying esque, as in
who put it out.
I missed who put it out, but I saw it circulated a lot on the timeline today. And he was wearing a red bandana, and everyone was the comment was, he's all he's showing blood gang affiliation. And it's like, dude, I mean, his college was red too.
Hey, I mean, the easiest thing to say about a black man that degrade his character is that he's in a gang.
Yep.
Right. Like,
well, that's I mean, the first thing I thought
out
of
of town. I mean,
that's
D-Jax
exactly
is
what I
big
thought of.
But that's not the point. The point is he's really good at football, right? Like, he don't bring that Crip stuff to the locker room. Like, these are grown men from the trenches, right? Like, some of them are active gang members, and that just is what it is.
The thing is, too, though, man, is that I was looking at the video, and it was
not saying Jalen Carter is. He is not.
No, but the thing is that in the video, like, Nolan Smith is sitting there in the back seat, and I'm like, they didn't look like they just picked Nolan Smith up from his tutor, and like they're not on some gangbanging shit right now, bro.
The only gangbanging going on is going to be on, it'll be week 1, man. We start taking out these teams, man. That's day 1. I think I love this team. I love the energy. I love the youth. I love the old heads in the locker room. I just can't wait to see them form. You know what I'm saying? Like the relationships of like we got Yodas all over the locker room. So it's whether it's Coach Stoutland, whether it's Kelsey, Brandon Graham, Lane Johnson, like these are some real OGs at their positions. We're talking like just veterans of the locker room. These are like guys that like Lane Johnson has his lineman camp that he does. He like just a wealth of knowledge amongst this group. It's crazy.
Yeah. Sorry, bro. I found this dumbass video. It is literally Jalen Carter in a red bed in a red car with Kelly Ringo and a bunch of other college students throwing up the east side.
They reaching, bro. They reaching.
Look at
What I mean. Yeah, dude, that's what I mean. He's got his textbooks in his lap, pretty much.
Son,
like we got what class you got?
I
got
love Nolan Smith, by the way, bro. I fucking love Nolan Smith.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Real quick, going towards going to look back at our picks for those who are falling asleep. Jalen Carter, Georgia. Love the pick. Everyone was excited about that pick. You know, the fact that we got Nolan Smith as late as we did, that was, you know, that was like Christmas. We talked about the development of a lineman mid rounds. Hopefully, you know, you trust Stoutland. We got a tackle guard versatility, Tyler Steen, who showed out at the Senior Bowl where they figured that he could make that move inside. He transitioned well.
Our last Alabama lineman worked out pretty well.
Yeah, Sidney Brown, another guy who showed out. You know, this is going back. If you go back to our Senior Bowl things, our videos, Sidney Brown was a guy that a lot of the scouts were talking about, and Howie did talk about his ability to play in coverage, where they're excited. If you check a couple one of the reps, exciting stuff. And then they come back in the middle of the draft and they bring back a Philly favorite, DeAndre Swift. We talk about an upgrade at the position, and we're still staying cheaper and still adding other guys. And Penny, the room is stacked. Tanner McKee, quarterback, not tight end, from Stanford, a developmental quarterback that we kind of talked about bringing in at the end of day 3, and then Moro Ajomo from Texas. Now I'm talking about a stout run defender, can come in here and compete. So I mean, off the rip, you know, you feel like if we're giving grades around the room, I mean, it's not even on some homer shit. I felt like that was an A+.
It's an A+ grade.
That was an A+ draft. I didn't even show Khalil Ringo's photo either.
Ringo.
But yeah, I mean A+.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There was pieces that were like I wouldn't have minded them drafting a wide receiver at some point during the draft. But if I'm being real with you, when you just see how the board naturally fell, like I think that a good spot to get that a wide receiver would have been where we got Keely Ringo. But with Keely Ringo sitting there, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. See, the dude fell all the way to the 4th round. You take you know, another valuable position that you need some help at. So I don't have any problem with it. I'd give it an A.
I mean, with all the mock drafts that we did, I mean, it kind of like fell in the pattern.
That many.
Like 170.
But I mean, like we see the scenario that we ended up with is kind of like the scenario we saw a few times in the mock drafts that we were putting together. So it was just like, yeah, I mean, besides a couple names, you know, mixed in there, but like it was just like perfect. I mean, I agree with you, Evan. I mean, yeah, you could have easily grabbed the wide receiver at one of those spots, but hey, it's still played in our factor on the positions that we ended up grabbing. So I mean, it's good. I mean, even though like on the undrafted free agent, the one kid from Clemson got picked up. I mean, so that was kind of like, to me, that was like a fill-in. You know what I mean? So I think we were good off there. I'm kind of excited to see that kid go to work too.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like Tyler Steen and Sidney Brown were kind of toss-ups for me, just because there were some players in that range that I thought could be probably more impactful early on. But I mean, again, I'm cool. I like Steen. I like what Steen can offer as a swing tackle, but also somebody that could potentially start early on for us at right guard. And then Sidney Brown, again, within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, that boy a monster, man. We'll see what he does at the post. We'll see what he does in training camp and stuff, if he could play deep safety. But if he can't, at the at that strong safety position, he's more than adept at being an impact player and then they were sharing his highlights of special teams, him and Kelly Ringo playing gunner. And so,
Yeah,
you know, folks,
that'd be
they
nice.
come in, that like the contributions are there. And so again, man, I'm just excited about this team. You know, like Prom said, we did a bunch of mock drafts. I didn't even watch Jalen Carter tape, honestly, because I was like, I've seen it and he ain't gonna fall to the Eagles. Let me focus on people that like actually could be on this team. And so, you know, to have Jalen Carter along with Kelly Ringo, along with Nolan Smith, and you know, just it's an exciting day to continue to be an Eagles fan. And it's so funny. I don't remember which of you said it. I think it was Gail. But like all these other fan bases talking about the Eagles incessantly every single day is mind-boggling to me. Like I don't see any Eagles content creators talking about any other fan base other than the Eagles. But every fan base around the country is obsessed with our organization and our team. And I love it, bro. I find it hilarious because they also don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So it's like,
I also love how like it's like to all people that are outside of the Eagles fandom that it's somehow a diss that we draft a bunch of Georgia players. You mean like the team that continually wins championships?
Yeah,
I don't know what the fault the strategy is.
It's still crazy to see that. Like you got 5 teammates that went through 3 or 4 years of college, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now they're in the NFL together. Like, bro, that's pretty cool.
Dream, man.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And then look at the picture today. The boys are chilling in the ride. Like all 4 of them making big bucks now. All 4 of them made it to the big
blood
game. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, bro, it doesn't get any better than that.
How do you think guys like Deontay Wyatt are just like, you know, chilling, you know, by themselves?
Yo, I would love to get the Deontay to get Wyatt over here, bro. Bring all the Georgia boys, man. Reassemble the team, bro.
No, but just imagine, like, not imagine, but when this team goes on a playoff run, and you're just watching.
Wow.
I mean, everybody's watching. So I mean, like the unity you saw from the squad last year. Other players around the league are looking at what they're doing. Like, yo, what are they doing over there? Why am I playing for this team and this organization when we don't even get 6 primetime games a year? I'm trying to make my money. I can go to the Eagles, play 1 year, and get paid the next year on a squad like this who's getting seen by everyone. So,
and the thing I think is funny too is all of the fans that have never played a pro sport in their life that tell you, oh, no athlete wants to play in Philadelphia, and then you watch all of the athletes flock to Philadelphia because that's where they want to play. So pretty well.
And there's plenty. I'm letting it be known there are players out there that been in the league for a couple years that are showing they want to be on this squad.
Devin White,
Michael Parsons. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Buda Baker, shout out our head coach.
They want to be an Eagle so bad, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah,
it's all good. We'll let them keep on wanting to be here. But I just want to give a shout out to this guy. You might know him. It was a great event. That opportunity to meet hang with Dawkins. Dawkins again, man. Is he's still the same dude? You roll up on people and be like, "Hey, man, and he was like, "Come on, man, I know you." I almost cried inside because I was like, he's like, "Yeah, man, shout out to the 4th and Jawn, dude." I said, give our love to Connie. Shout out to the crafty bastard came up with the chain. We dropped it on him. He loved the chain. But Brian Dawkins, check out his Impact Foundation, doing a lot of good in the community. He wants to do a lot of things in the community. That's what he said. Those were his words. And I told him, I said, we got some dudes that want to come out here and just you just let me know. We got an army of people that want to give back to the community. And Hollis, they couldn't shut Hollis up, and he was all over the place.
That's so unlike him.
He was like
not that guy.
They did a auction if you wanted to. I was gonna hit you guys up. I was like, yo, you got a G to throw in for dinner? Because they were raffling off a dinner with Dawkins. I was like, all right, if we do the quick math, we could do, if it's $1,000, we could do it. And then it went all the way up to $10,000 for a dinner with. I was like, money. So 2 people paid $10,000, so they had 2 dinners, and then Hollis Thomas is also included in that dinner. He invited himself.
Of course he did.
But yeah,
can we
man.
invite ourselves? Listen,
right.
we all just gonna show up, yo. Like
Yeah,
we
would be
security team.
if you pay 10K for dinner with B Dog, he picks up the bill, right?
No,
You're not sitting there splitting that shit.
you're paying for the dinner too.
Yeah.
Brian Dawkins ain't
Like,
paying for that shit.
Well, so what do you talk about at a dinner with Brian Dawkins? What would be your first topic you want to talk about?
What was it like being on the field, man? What was going through your head? Like what I don't know what drove you to be the man that you are. Like that, I'll be talking all football, man, just to get that inside scoop of, you know what I mean, what was it like being Brian Dawkins, like him coming out of that tunnel every Sunday, man. It was just like that would be a conversation I would get deep into with him.
To be honest,
It's funny because like I would be the opposite, bro. Like I would care more about the leadership characteristics and traits, like carried over to football, but like who are you as a human being? Because that's the shit that I like to get into. I like to know what motivates people. Like, why are you the way that you are? Why do you do the things that you do? Because then that gives me more information about how to approach certain topics and things myself in the future. So yeah, I want to talk football with one of the greatest to ever do it. But like, he's also a super important and like thoughtful human being. And like, I want to get into that piece too. Cause like, I feel like the football is what it is. Yo, why are like you ill, my boy? Talk to me.
That's that third lap mentality. I got it. Mine was the sports mentality.
That's the born Eagles fan.
Hey, got you. Right.
To be honest, man, like the one thing I'd be thinking about, and I don't even have a question off the top of my head, but like, dude, I'd be stirring around. I would want to ask him something he hasn't been asked before, because I feel like Brian Dawkins is just one of those guys that, like, I mean, he's a very motivational guy. He goes on motivational speeches. And I'm sure that, like, you know, he comes across Eagles fans and it's the same questions all the time. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm leaning more with Mal here and just like trying to find out more about him as a person. Just try and get a better understanding.
I did try to be, you know, you try to play it cool, but the fanboys like going off, but you're like, nah, dude. I mean, watching him talk to everyone, just his energy resonates. So it's kind of cool just to watch, like, all his former teammates that are in there were just like glued to every word that he had to say, and it was just kind of cool just to see that atmosphere. But at the end of the day, you know, I was just like, hey, I got some gifts for you, and then newsflash, got a Brian Dawkins custom in the works.
Ooh,
Air Force One.
Yes, sir.
But now talking about this roster, getting back to this roster, and some of the guys that are going to try and be the next Brian Dawkins. Those are very hard shoes to fill. But we got some jersey numbers here.
Be the next Quentin Michael first before you're the next Brian Dawkins, man.
And shout out to Quentin Michael, because Quentin Michael was a player too, bro. Yeah. He did his thing.
So what do we think of these rookie numbers here? We got Jalen Carter with 98, Nolan Smith number 3. We got Tyler Steen with number 56. Sidney Brown with the 43, and then Kaylee Ringo with 37.
I hate
Tanner McKee is got number 10.
Wow.
Moro Jomo has 72. Andre Teixeira got released, so 21 is open. I would grab that.
I just want to say that after I sat here supporting Tanner McKee all off season, he went and took my number. I think he's been listening, bro.
Yeah, no, he know you was his main cheerleader, my boy.
So who got the worst number?
And Swift got 0, right?
Yeah, Swift got 0. And he said that was for the number of championships the Cowboys have won in his lifetime.
That was his joke, though.
That was a joke. He never said it. Okay.
No, yeah,
I couldn't ever find like an actual quote, but that shit was
he quote tweeted. He was like,
that's an automatic jersey retire before he even puts it on.
He should have just stood on business, man. Just like
he actually got mad. He was like, "Yo, I never even talked to you." You know, blah blah blah.
Well, and that's the thing about like the media, right? Is like, you know, especially with social media now, people could just run with anything. You could just say anything. Look what we just talked about earlier. Like Jalen Carter is now blood. He's blood gang. Like these are college students, dog, just riding in a nice vehicle. Can we let them live, son? And so, you know, I'm glad that he at least said something if that wasn't true. I like Ojomo, man.
Pete Nathan says 72 for Ojomo is solid. He's going to be the next Cedric Thornton. Nice pull.
Sadie.
I like Nolan Smith's number the best.
I like that.
I like
You
three.
got
is pretty
7
dope.
and 3 coming off the edge, bro. That's nice.
And we got
Atlanta says
Josh Sweat.
43 rolls.
He had the quietest. What did he have? 12 and a half sacks last year. Like
Yeah,
Josh Sweat had the quietest, like excellent football season I've seen in quite some time. And so, I just again, it's so much optimism, so much reason for optimism with this team. They gotta stay healthy. They stay healthy, or if they get healthy late in the season going into the playoffs, it's gonna be a very hard team to beat, bro.
Dude, thinking about just what these edges are going to be able to pull off with having Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis in the middle, man. It's mismatch central.
Yo, keep it a buck. I mean, we still got Fletch, right? And I think Moro Jomo, he may not be a guy year one. He may not even be a guy year two. He might take like the Milton route. But Ojomo has all the tools and traits to be an interior pass rusher and somebody that's disruptive. So this rotation is just bananas along this defense.
He's got a cool story too, man.
Options.
Yeah, I like Ojomo. And he's a kid. He's a child. Him and Ringo are like 21.
Started at like 16.
Right? Bro.
Now looking at these other New Jersey numbers. Someone's like, yo, what are these New Jersey numbers? Like New Jersey numbers, not New Jersey, Pennsylvania.
Wait,
New
how is
Jersey numbers.
Aaron Sipos and Tanner McKee?
Yeah,
both
that's what I've been
Somebody's
repeating this same answer to like 1,000 people in the DMs and on the posts, but they do have the same number at this moment. If you see who, we'll get to the next chart here, but there's a guy that wears number 49 who's our new punter. But so it's DeAndre Swift with the 0. We have Marcus Mariota with 8, which is nice for him. Number 10, Aaron Sipos. That's Evan's favorite player. We have Zacchaeus, another local kid. Number 13. We have number 22, old Deuce Staley's number, Trey Sermon. We have 23, Rashad Penny. 26, Terrell Edmonds. We have Justin Evans with number 30. Greedy Williams, a.k.a. Chris Rock, number 38. 41, Nicholas Morrow. And then Contavious Street with 97.
Has Avante been 29 the past few years, or I thought he switched to 22?
No, he's been 20 now. He's been 20 now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ask AJ that she know. She keep track. AJ.
Who got the best number of this group? Swift.
I like the 0, bro. I like the 0.
I'm also not gonna lie. I don't even think he's gonna make the team, but I'm a big fan of the double deuce 22.
Yeah,
that's nice.
I like the Jordan number on Rashad Penny too, because that's a redeem year for him. If he put up a Jordan season, I'm geeked up.
Yep.
But yeah, I like 0. That's the best one. That's it.
Yo, if you get a bad number, dude, like that's one of the worst. That is one of the worst feelings when you go into your locker. My first year in college, I was waiting for a low number. I got to my locker and I seen that it was fucking 85, and I was so heated. I was almost
that bad, bro.
85, like, bro, was the worst.
85
for me.
Cinco, bro.
Nah, 85 is just terrible. It's terrible.
What's the worst aside from 85, which isn't even that bad? What's the worst?
86.
It could have been like 66 and shit. They could have gave you an offensive lineman number. That's
74. 74.
Like if you're a smaller receiver,
70.
you gotta have a smaller number to stay compact. You can't have like fucking
Gail
Yeah, that's a
Louise,
smaller
his
number to
fucking
stay
jersey in his locker.
bro, I was hurt. I changed my number.
Wait till I get on this
year.
back end. I'm deleting all that shit. I'm deleting all that shit. It's gone.
Next year I moved to number 6, and the year after that I went to 1.
Okay.
Oh, everybody's hating on 49.
49.
Who was 49?
No, they're just saying 49.
The punter.
Oh, the number. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
49 is terrible.
yes.
We might as well bring up the next squad out of here. So we got the Eagles UDFA. So Joseph Nagata, he got the most money out of our UDFAs. A Clemson former, I believe is former 5-star. We have number 86, Zach Ertz. Okay. Julie Ertz's former husband's number. Still husband. Number 39. Eli Ricks.
I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, Eli Ricks. What did you say, Prom?
Well,
I said I ain't got nothing to do with it. You said former husband, and I was like, I ain't got
Yeah, the
nothing
way
to do
you
with it.
phrased that was bananas.
Congratulations on your wedding, Lucky.
Exactly. I don't want no smoke with Julie, bro. I'm
Okay.
good.
So we got number 74, Trevor Reed from Louisville.
First
We
jersey,
got
man.
Kansas State punter, number 49. Jaden Hazelwood, former wide receiver of
Still a wide
Jalen's. Is that number 87? Terrible number. Mekhi Gardner, cornerback, number 46. For a cornerback, that is terrible.
That is terrible.
Chim Okafor,
Not
number
making
79.
the team.
Number 57, Ben Van
Dover.
Sumeren.
Yeah.
And Brady Russell got number
83.
80.
Greg Lewis.
83.
Yeah.
You know he's got one of his family members is also works with the Eagles.
Brady or G-Lou?
Brady Russell, tight end from Colorado.
Got you.
He got a little.
Any of these
too.
any of these guys excite you?
Nope.
Eli Ricks, Trevor
Joseph.
Reed,
That's Joseph.
Ty
That's it.
Zetner. They got a couple of them here, man. I like that. The Ricks, I mean, former 5-star, got hurt, similar to Josh Jobe. We'll see. Trevor Reed's athletic profile is bananas. His RAS score is through the roof. So I feel like that's another one of those like developmental stoutland guys. And then if you watch Ty Zetner, he kicks the laces off the ball. So that was Julie Ertz, my boy.
She was talking to Prime now.
That's not Prime.
No. She was talking. To
Yeah. She was wishing him a happy wedding. Congratulations. But yeah, those three definitely excite me, man. Mekhi Fortson, possibly, or Mekhi Gardner, I'm sorry, if he could move the safety.
Yeah, the only one that really moves the needle a little bit for me is Eli Ricks, just because of
Not the punter?
Alabama connection. I was getting there, pal, and the punter. Ty Zetner.
That's only two guys then.
Yeah, it's the only guys. I mean, these are undrafted free agents. I don't have high hopes for them.
But
No love
yo,
for
what
Nagata?
was it? At least 1.5 on average UDFAs have made the team over the past several years. So we looking at some of these dudes will be on the active roster.
I can tell you one guy who was UDFA who's probably played his last Eagle snap, and that's number 84, G Ward. Says wide receiver room's a little.
Hey, at the end of the day, man, it's all about getting like we're trying to refine the back end of this wide receiver group. I'm totally cool with the way that they're doing things. Get cheap talent. I mean, what we had Britton Covey as who made the squad. We had
that was a failed experiment.
Jack Stoll made the squad as a UDFA. And we had your boy Reed Blankenship.
Josh Jobe made the team as a UDFA. They had a couple.
So I mean, hey man, the way that the Eagles are set up, this is you're playing. I think they have the luxury, man. Find the guys, and
I don't know about that one.
So Darren G says, "Gotta say it. I keep G Ward over Quez at this." My thing is, G Ward never even got a shot last year.
Yeah.
To really,
but G Ward's never really separated.
His ceiling
either,
isn't
right?
that high. You know what I
it's
mean?
not.
He's just got like a relatively higher floor, I think.
I mean, you just know what G Ward is at this point.
Yeah.
At this moment, right? So I mean, I know we have the Sixers in 15 minutes. We did touch on some of the roster.
I want to touch on something real quick if I can. So I feel like one of the things that's kind of being overlooked, and I'm not even saying like I just want to get you guys' perspective on it, because I think that when you go to the Super Bowl and you end up losing your coordinators, you gotta refill the house. Well, last time we went to the Super Bowl and we won, the following couple of years we kind of pointed the finger at Frank Reich as why he had so much success with Carson. Do you guys fear at all any sort of losing Shane Steichen? Is that at all in the back of your minds? I know going to Brian Johnson, but I'm just is it at all a possibility that you think that it's a little bit shaky to start out?
If Brian Johnson didn't have the relationship with Jalen that he has and like the acumen for football, maybe I'll feel a little bit differently. but I don't know that there's gonna. I think it may be a better fit just because Brian Johnson probably has more of a belief in Jalen as like a traditional quarterback than Shane Steichen did, just looking at the play calls and stuff. So again, that's why I'm sort of prognosticating that he'll maybe make a larger jump as a passer this year. Maybe see some of those rushing opportunities dwindle down as he was utilizing the pass offense more. So I think maybe rough patch early on just for the install is some, thinking for the system, but I don't think it'll be a huge drop off.
I'm not afraid. I mean, it's changes is going to happen year in and year out. I think the continuity between the fact that you have, him in the same, he's Jalen Hurts has the same guy who's been in his QB coach over the last year. He's in his ear, and I think he's had his back since he was a kid. He's been a part of a friend of the family for Hurts. So I mean, it's just this is like there's levels to this. This is another whole other level. You don't like what was his godfather?
Yeah, he's known Jalen his whole life, basically.
I mean, name any quarterback in the league who's ever had that kind of relationship with his offensive coordinator.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a very it goes back.
I think we're definitely good there because it's like you guys all mentioned, Brian Johnson being right there. I mean, all last season, not in the position that he's in this season. I mean, but regardless, he was right there. So I mean, the fact that he has him coming filling right into that position that he's in now, I think we're good. And then with Shane leaving, I don't think that's a hurt piece at all. I think that'll be. I'm looking forward to seeing my man, the new defensive coordinator, put this team to work. With a different scheme.
Not to be a negative Nancy, but as I sit here wearing this hat,
to be a negative
and we have
He's
this
about to say
conversation,
something. Wow.
I can't help but think about the relationship that Ben Simmons and Brett Brown had prior to Ben Simmons getting into the league. He known him since he was a little kid. I'm just saying.
But see, the thing about Ben and Brett is Brett did not hold Ben Simmons accountable, right?
Right.
That was
Ben
a big
Simmons
issue.
and Jalen Hurts are two totally different personalities.
Completely different people. And like the accountability piece was always my issue with Brett Brown and Ben Simmons, that he just did not hold him to the same level of accountability that you need to hold a superstar to. Right. Brian Johnson is not going. First of all, Jalen Hurts isn't going to let Jalen Hurts slack, right? And so fuck what Brian Johnson is doing. Jalen Hurts is not going to go for that. So I think the private relationship is important to be able to continue to help Jalen grow as a football player. If they had brought out like an outside voice, somebody that didn't really know Jalen as well, I don't know. I would maybe feel differently, but I feel good about that, man. I think that they all moving in the right direction. Yeah, you already know, bro.
Ben is a afterthought. I was thinking, just looking at Jimmy, and I'm like, I can't. How you let Jimmy Butler leave? But again,
he's the best player in the playoffs right now, bro.
Jimmy left because he felt, he felt a certain way, and I totally understand.
Jimmy's doing his thing right now, bro.
I'm totally okay with it. Yeah. Let's see. Just looking at the quarterback position, this is what our quarterback group looks like.
Bob from Down Under played for Brett Brown briefly. Get
out of here.
That's crazy. I know he has the Australian connection. That's pretty wild.
So Ian Book, Jalen Hurts, Marcus Mariota, Tanner McKee. Who do you think wins the QB3 job here?
Ian.
Dude, I think it's a coin flip. Honestly, I don't even know enough about Ian Book to be honest with you to get like Ian Book is one of those guys that I just know exists because I see him on the head, chart. I don't have any confidence that if we lost both of our 1 and 2 quarterback that we.
He looked like the character off of Beetlejuice with the shrink head.
Damn, this guy going straight for the neck. No pun intended.
That's all he got.
I mean,
I think it's a coin flip, bro.
QB3 is definitely up in the air for me. Let's see. The QB3, I was trying to get DTR in here.
That would have been beautiful.
Shout out to my boy. I just realized
Bob.
He had a boy just posted one of his prospects. My boy that's an agent just posted that he's repping DTR. If I would have known, that's cool for him. But the running back group here, real quick: Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell, Rashad Penny. Oh, my bad. DeAndre Swift, Trey Sermon, and Kennedy Brooks.
Shit, I forgot about Kennedy.
Right.
Mhm.
Yo, Kennedy could play too, right? Like
Yeah.
this may be one of the strongest groups on the team. And like that excites me so much because that allows us so much flexibility as an offense, right? That like we can dictate the defenses, the system that we want to run every single week, bro. That's so important, especially getting into the playoffs, cold weather football, like being able to have a running back rotation like that behind the best offensive line in football, man, with the best quarterback in the NFC. Oh man,
So
listen, man.
How do you think
cut two out of this group.
Penny and
Kennedy
Brooks?
Brooks and Trey Sermon.
I'm sorry, not Penny. Sermon and Brooks. Yeah.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
For all the Trey
it-
Sermon stands, still going to be upset in the chat.
That's fine. We got 4 better guys above him.
Pretty much.
No, but my question is, like, I think we can all agree that this is going to be almost an even split between DeAndre Swift or Rashad Penny, or unless you guys see it differently. If one of those two guys starts to pop off a lot more than the other, do you see that becoming a lead back type situation rather than committee?
Maybe a hot hand situation, right? Who starts off hot and then maybe minimizing the rotation a little bit just to ride that player until they get cold.
Mhm.
But I like you can go any direction, man. You know, yeah. Wealthy mind, he know what he out here trying to do. But listen, between Rashad Penny, Kenneth Gainwell, and Swift, like that road, like they all can do pretty much the same thing. So, you know, it also means that defenses can't again dictate to you. And then you got Boston Scott to kill the Giants 2 times a year. Oh man, listen, man, I'm hyped.
Yeah.
Ooh. Now looking at the wide receivers,
Look at this group.
let's see. We got AJ Brown to lead off things. Devontae Smith. We got 1A, 1B. We got Quez Watkins, who's going through his own things. Let's hope he gets back to where he wants to be. Talked about Greg Ward Jr., veteran guy who's been here, journeyman for a long time. Devin Allen, track star, who's trying to make it on this roster and learn the position at the next level. We got Zacchaeus, he's got some slot versatility. You can move him around. He can take those jet sweeps. He can do special teams. We have Tyree Cleveland, who, you know, again, is probably not going to make it this roster. I could just say that right off the rip. Britton Covey, a guy who's
England Covey.
he's just been you know, consistent at the catch point as a punt returner. Again, he did have his longest punt return in the Super Bowl for those Covey haters out there.
I got to be honest, as I look at that group of players, obviously the top two are the top two. They're great. There's a significant fall off after that, man.
Baby.
I really don't think that we have a wide receiver 3 on this team. I think we have a wide receiver 1 and a 1A, and I think we've got a bunch of wide receiver 4s.
4 and 5, yeah.
4 and 5.
You're saying we got Alfreds,
We
not
got
even
some time.
Robbins?
We got some time.
I'm saying that how we might get the cooking real soon, right?
Yeah.
Like looking at that group, especially when you're talking about a guy like AJ Brown, who for the first time last year played an entire season. And so God forbid he misses a game or several this year. Like that push you. Now we're back to where we were before we acquired him, right? Where Devontae's getting double teamed, like Quez Watkins is your default wide receiver 2. You don't want to be in that spot. So, you know, I think that also puts a huge strain on the offense and a huge strain on Jalen. So I'm now curious to see, to Ev's point, like what do we do to address that position? Jarvis Landry is interesting, but injury prone and old at this point. Like I feel like there's some dudes that similarly Donovan Peoples-Jones in Cleveland, like some of these younger guys on their last year, their contract kind of need to prove it. DPJ will look real good in some Kelly Green. So, you know, I think there's some guys out there that maybe fit that profile that makes sense for the Eagles, and let them walk, get a compensatory pick, and move on if they don't work out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Elena says, what y'all think about Landry? Landry, hey, man, if you want to come in cheap and play that contagious game.
I mean, Landry at this point in his career isn't the most, you know, sexy signing, but dude, there's a lot of things that are more sexy than beyond AJ Brown and Devontae Smith in that wide receiver room. So we need some help there.
Help.
The washed gang over
Primo.
here, and then there's no sign of me. I can't even run. We did bring in a tight end to the group. We might as well bring up the tight ends. Let's see, man. We have that's the wrong one. My bad. Dalton Keene, Tyree Jackson, Dan Arnold, Dallas Goedert, Jack Stoll, Grant Calcaterra. A lot of people in the chat have been talking about tight end too. Some people say Dan Arnold could be tight end too. Yeah. Show some athleticism, but again,
motherfuckers just sneak onto this roster, bro. Who the fuck is Dalton Keene?
play with the Patriots.
Just sneak onto this roster. They just show up on the roster.
Yeah, when did you get here, bro?
If you're playing close knit to the waiver wire.
No, that's my bad. I'm not paying attention to tight end 6.
No, that was when I first seen him. I was like, who is this guy? I think for mustaches, we got a lot of mustaches on.
Guy looks like a cop, bro.
He does look like the police.
Hey, you got any priors there, Evan?
I think he's the one that leaked the Jalen Carter fucking gang story.
I was just thinking the same shit. Yo, no cap though, bro. I like Jack Stoll, man. Like I know a lot of people aren't really big on Jack. I like Jack Stoll because of his ability to block, and he's a decent enough receiver. I'm really trying to see if Grant Calcaterra can make that jump this year. Is like that pass catching tight end for us. Dan Arnold, solid. Tyree Jackson, don't have a clue, right? He's been hurt, and then Dalton Keene is the police, and I don't really rock with 12. So, for me, it's kind of those first 4 guys, and then those last 2. Big question marks around if they'll even stick around.
Yeah, again, man, I need to see some real growth from Calcaterra. I think Jack Stoll is what he is, man. I've always called him Old Navy, especially UDFA, man. Like you make a roster.
This training
as
camp,
UDFA.
This training camp's got to be make or break for Tyree Jackson at this point, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, we're going into it like I think that there's promise there. It's just the dude can't stay healthy. And,
well, the athletic profile is clearly there. It's
right.
That part around the injuries that they've just wrecked his career so far.
Right.
Now looking at the big uglies, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelsey, Cam Jurgens and Tyler Steen are gonna, compete at the position. Lane Johnson, again, like that's a lot of dudes that you're like, those are. I can't even. And then they got Stoutland coaching them, man.
This is a good.
Then they got stuff. I mean, look at the depth. You have
Jack Driscoll's my guy. Sewell Payda. Got some people here, man. I like it.
Some guys that can fight. Overall, I mean, there's not really much to talk about the position other than that they're ungodly, great,
all bunch
great
of studs,
as hell.
man.
And knock on wood, Landon's been able to stay healthy so far because that was a big question mark for this offensive line and Tim, exactly right. Like that's an important part. Jalen definitely trusts Stoll. And Stoll does what he's supposed to. I love all my jeans is Old Navy, boy. They reliable. You keep them for 3 years. They don't really bust up on you like that. So give me Old Navy, bruh. Yeah, Todd, you know the vibes. But this is a good group, man. This is a real good group. And even if injuries happen, we have people that could fill in, which is so important.
Now, Kevin, just let's see. Ariza, the punter?
Yeah, he's talking because he just got exonerated for the gang rape, John. So now everybody's clamoring a sign, bro.
That situation's so suspect, fishy, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I stay away from it with a 30-foot pole. Look, I mean, like if you just look into the story, he did just get exonerated today. They determined that he wasn't there. He admitted to being there and having consensual sex with her when the story first broke. The shit doesn't add up, bro. So
and now he wasn't, and now he's
too much
not
smoke
there.
for there not to be fire for me, bro.
Yo, we got Ty Zettler, man. Let him kick the laces off this, John. We got.
And then we're talking about a punter. We're not bringing no drama in for a punter.
Exactly.
We're not bringing no drama for a punter.
Now let's move across. Yo, Ty, don't know what you, son. Ty come in here with all the wild shit, man.
Move across the line here. Brandon Graham, Jalen Carter or Milton Williams, mix and match. Jordan Davis, mix and match. Fletcher Cox, Josh Sweat, Derek Barnett can't get right maybe this year, but overall, just look at the group. You could easily add in Ndamukong Suh mid after week 8 whenever he wants to come back for cheap. You can add another piece into the mix. You can also add a depth piece at the edge position. I think anyone who's going to want to play for a winner is like, hey, I'll come in as a rotational edge player.
And that's exactly the point too, man, is that like if you just look at this defensive line, like it is so deep that realistically, if you were to take the second string of this defensive line, that would be formidable for another team. You know what I mean? So those are starters on another team. So like to have that sort of depth and to let these guys guys like Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham that are getting up there in years, to get them off the field so they can get some oxygen in their lungs and get thrown right back in there. It'll make all the difference.
And somebody we haven't really talked about that, people aren't even predicting to make the team is Kentavious Street. I like what Street brought to this room. What he was able to do last year with the 49ers. His press conference introductory interview was impressive, like really intelligent dude. I think he meshes well with this group. And I think he also brings like that interior pass rush ability that Jordan Davis doesn't necessarily have yet as like a 2-gapper. So, and we don't know what we have with Milton yet, right? Like Kentavious has proved that he's a guy where Milton hasn't really yet. So again, I mean, the camp competition is going to be incredible. And then, to Ev's point, we're going to be cutting people that get picked up almost immediately on other teams and like have outstanding years for themselves. So it's exciting, man. When the last time we had this much optimism around being an Eagles fan, right? That like it's a beautiful day in the city, bro.
Now, we have Hassan and Nolan. I think Nolan could be. I would honestly let him do what he does best, even though he's undersized. Let him rush, But I feel like he could learn under Hassan. You talk about our medical all-star Nakobe Dean. Evan's favorite player. We have Sean Bradley, again, Evan's favorite Temple player. Davion Taylor.
Evan's least favorite linebacker.
Nick Morrow, who's playing on no guaranteed money. And Christian Ellis, who's been
Nick Morrow, who led the Bears in tackles last year.
But he does.
He's gonna give us some good reps this year.
But it's weird that he has no guaranteed money.
Yeah, but he showed the athleticism necessary to play in this scheme, bro, to be able to cover in space. I think him and Nakobe combined for that sort of.
I still would have told my agent, give me $500K at least.
Man, he got his. Listen, if he make the team, he played this year. He got his paper.
Oh yeah. So I mean, I just overall, I think there's so many dudes. I can't even.
The horses, bro.
I can't even.
I can't wait for Madden to come out. I'm gonna be spanking people with the Eagles and Madden. Boy, y'all boys ain't scoring next year when I'm done with this squad, man. Boy, you heard.
Like I said, man, our defensive line front looks like Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Let's go here with the cornerback Darius Slay, James Bradbury, the Clamps. We got Reed Blankenship, Kayvon Wallace, who was back end depth. Reed Blankenship played his ass off for UDFA. Terrell Edmonds signed as a free agent. Justin Evans as a free agent. Sidney Brown in the mix over here. Definitely, with Avonte Maddox, man in the slot. That's a solid 1, 2, 3.
Big time. And I think that I feel like Terrell Edmonds is a guy that hasn't been talked about much this offseason. I'm eager to see what he's going to do with this team, because I think he obviously has a lot of help around him in the secondary. But yeah, I think he's been decent in the league. I just wonder how he's going to fit into this group.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, I forgot Ringo.
Ringo. Split safety looks. This is going to get interesting, right? Because we have 3 guys in Reed Blankenship, Terrell Edmonds, and Brown, who primarily specialize in being close to the line of scrimmage. And so again, with like not being able to be predictable on defense and some of the looks that the side wants to run, like you have to have these guys that can kind of flip-flop on the back end. So again, I just want to see Brown in space, man. Like I make the joke of him being a killer inside 10 yards. He is. We don't 10 and back, we don't got a clue. So but I like the group. Justin Evans is a huge question mark, but he came into the league, I believe, second round pedigree, correct? So,
Mhm.
these are guys that, again, you see what Howie's doing. He's taking these lottery tickets on guys that have high draft pedigree, right? That were blue chip dudes at some point in their career, and then have faced injuries and like are now kind of on the back end or tail end of some of that stuff. Shit, no harm, no foul. They don't work out, they walk. If they do work out, maybe you re-sign them. But we'll see.
And look at the corner. The corners are kind of the guys that they're bringing in
Greedy's
here.
very, bro. Like,
They're all got length, man. Zach,
yes.
I got not
Yep.
a greedy. Talk about it's the corners
Josh
they brought
Brody.
in. They got some length over here.
Josh Joe
So
gonna make a push, bro.
You know who else has got some length is Joel Embiid.
hello. As we
taking
close
the-
out those special teams, we could kick it to Joel Embiid after this. Sipos, who's borderline. Everyone's gunning for his head right now. Fourth drawn favorite, Rick Lovato.
Yes, sir.
Fan of the show. Jake Elliott, he's been here, done that. Boston Scott.
Yo, I put some respect on Jake Elliott's name, by the way, too, because I saw all over the timeline people were saying, "Oh, he should give Nolan Smith his jersey number." That is a Super Bowl champion, bro.
Yeah, you don't
Put
do that.
respect on his name.
Don't do
Don't roll your eyes there, Malcolm. I
Here
see you
go
behind the
Ev
graphic.
again. Here
Don't do
go
that.
Ev
I see you.
again.
Now,
Bro,
our kick.
bro, what a Super Bowl, bro! You're just gonna give it to an incoming rookie?
Yeah, we're not doing that. He
Here
guys
you
not really
go.
like that. So we got Boston Scott, potential Quez Watkins as our kick returners, our punt returners,
Get Devontae out of there.
Britton Covey, and our emergency. If you want to punt return here and there, you got
Get
Devontae
him
Smith.
out of there.
But I mean, overall, I think this is where you got to find. You could
Competition.
add Zacchaeus into this mix too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I want to see some competition in this group
And
here.
G Money
Man.
Ward, bro.
mm.
If you made it,
But yeah, no, I know everyone is clamoring for some Sixers. Obviously, if you're Eagle fan, that doesn't automatically make you a Sixers fan. But amongst this group right here,
big time.
we need to be Sixers fans. I got the shirt on today.
Bro, I'm not turning that shit on until the fourth quarter.
I got the shirt on today because we need another big game out of this guy. This guy has been playing lights out as of lately. Keep doing
The
it.
first game, he was
Keep doing it.
Yeah, other than that, I haven't seen him since.
Bro, that hell of
He
a
was good
shot to
last game,
close out
too.
OT,
Yeah.
bro. That
He
was
was
a
good last
hell of a
game.
bucket to close out that last game.
Games 2 and 3 was very suspect.
I
Hey,
should
what
have
I'm
never even
saying-
been in that position, man.
Oh, but-
Also
yeah, but
went
like,
4
look.
for 40.
We know his past history, right? We're talking about James Harden. If people that are listening on the phone, for his last two, he put up 40 plus.
Yeah.
In 2 games.
In the first and fourth game, not in two straight games.
Yeah, but we needed that.
Big time. But then he also disappeared in the 2 games.
Yeah,
Well,
we need him to be consistent tonight and not disappear. Right.
So you'd rather have him average that out.
Is that what I
Yeah.
said?
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, realistically, it's not even him, Maxi, right? They're like the young boy that we've been relying on the whole year. He got to show up, man.
Yeah,
this
man.
is the
I agree
time.
with you.
He got to show
I
up.
agree with you.
Yo,
So,
shout out
yeah, we on
PJ
it,
Tucker
man.
though, bro.
Yeah.
Being Unk in the locker room. That's
Yeah.
made a big difference.
Yeah. I
Absolutely.
don't even mess with PJ Tucker like that, but I give him props for that one.
Oh, no.
PJ
People were like
PJ Tucker
ready to
He's-
kill
he's-
him.
he's
doing
getting-
what he's supposed to do, right?
But
Like, this is what
I
they
saw
brought
him
there
last
for.
night talk about it. He's like, I should be getting paid more because I'm a social worker and an NBA player. I was like, all right, let's pump the brakes.
See?
You know,
Who said that?
PJ Tucker. he said I'm an NBA player and an NBA player and a social worker.
Social workers don't make that much, son. So like your bump ain't gonna be but too much, my boy. Like you already being compensated for both because you don't do much on the court, my guy. So like let's go ahead and keep it a buck, man.
Thank you.
Now speaking of schedule releases, shout out to
we all want to open up against, man.
Philly Sports
Man,
Trips. If you're looking to,
I
you're
want
looking
the
to book
40
a-
winders.
Yeah.
if you're looking to book a
I
trip,
want the
check
90
out
people to know.
phillysportstrips.com. Make sure to follow them at Sports Trips PHL for more information. I talked to Vince. He said,
Yo,
looking to
Vince,
come on the pod next week.
Let's go.
Busy guy
pull up, my
on
guy.
schedule release day. So, real quick. Oh, don't tell me I took it off. Okay. We have our home games. These are away games, actually. Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants,
I love the
Washington
hoodie.
Commanders, New England Patriots, New York Jets, Los Angeles Rams, Seattle Seahawks, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Pick 4 games to go. Which games are you guys going to?
Away games.
Yep.
Dallas, yeah,
Rams,
yeah. I want to go to
Seattle,
Seattle, bro. I definitely
Seattle,
want to go
yeah,
to Seattle, bro.
and I'm gonna probably say I want to go
Tampa.
and disrespect New England.
Yeah, and they got
So
legal
Boston.
butt up there, so I'm good with that too.
Ooh, F.
I need to get to Dallas.
Yeah,
Oh,
Would love to go out to LA,
yeah.
Seattle, and Tampa. Honestly,
He said Tampa.
yeah,
said
dude,
that.
Tampa seems like
Said that
fun
interestingly weird. Okay, all right. I go Seattle, Tampa, L.A.
this guy
and
said
then-
Tampa.
and then I'd say New England.
Mhm.
We got to get that Dallas in there, man.
Mhm.
Okay. Now these are our home opponents this year: the Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, Washington Commanders, Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, Arizona Cardinals, San Francisco 49ers, Minnesota Vikings. Which game on this list are you circling that you can't wait to see? 49ers.
49ers, come and get this smoke. And honestly, Buffalo too, because that's going to be, as always, one of the teams in the AFC that everybody's hyping up. So I want to see how this defense fares against somebody like Josh Allen. Miami too, right? That's going to be a high octane offense. So if you could slow down teams like that, I feel really good about like where this team is. If we struggling versus offenses like that, then we might be, we might have some things to work on. So
Well,
I feel like those.
why did I think that we played the Chiefs next year?
Nah,
Somebody was
not.
saying that we did.
We played the Chiefs this year.
That's what I mean. I don't see him on either of these
Yeah,
lists.
it's not. You're right. It wasn't put on there.
Oh, my
It's
bad.
okay. It's all right, Gal. You know what
I was just clarifying to see if
No,
if we
Evan
were
pointed
playing the
out your
Chiefs.
mistake. For the
What? Maybe fell off the bottom.
Yo, Gail,
Yo,
stop letting them treat you like this. Yo.
Didn't Kelsey's mom break something about the Chiefs playing?
Yeah, she said they're playing like week 2 or 3. Bob
They
says
about
3.
to
I saw
bust
2.
her up, yo.
That's cool. That's all right. I don't want the first game. I want the 49ers.
Yeah, I want the Niners. Oh, I want the 49ers.
Yo, it's crazy. As much as I
I
love,
think it's a free game, Bob.
I want them
I
to
used to-
horse Jalen Hargrave too for talking that dumb shit that he said when he left. What you talking about, bro? Man,
and Debo Samuel, a guy who I love coming out of
Yeah, I lost all
coming out of
respect for that
college.
dude.
I was just like, yo, I didn't know you had that much bitch in you.
Even freaking whatchamacallit, the tight end Kittle bitching the whole offseason. Them boys bitched the whole offseason.
Who's their quarterback, by the way?
You missed y'all missed the block that caused your quarterback to have to get his arm fucking repaired and put back together like a damn jigsaw puzzle. That's not our fault. Like, we did what we were supposed to do. Y'all lost that game.
No, but you didn't get the memo. It is our fault. It was our fault that we
didn't spot them a quarterback so we can make the game even. Like, here, y'all take Jalen and we'll play with
we didn't give him
Mariota.
a first. We didn't give him a second or a third. They had to go with a fourth stringer. You know what I mean? Like, that was our problem. Yeah. We did it.
Now, the score is actually 13-10. Sixers are leading at this moment. 6:52 left in the first quarter.
I'm with Mal. I'm not going to watch it to the fourth quarter.
Nope. I ain't
Really?
doing it to myself. No,
Yep.
there's no point, bro. Why
Nah.
am I put myself through that?
Not
I'm
gonna get frustrated.
gonna tune in with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and I'm gonna sit in that TV like I've been watching that bitch the whole time. No, I'm not doing that shit.
Interesting. Did Ev leave for good or he bathroom break?
Nah, bathroom break. And he's back. And he's back.
I was gonna say last word before we get out of here. We'll go with Mal. Last word before we get out of here.
Hey man, last word is always the same thing. Just excited to be on here. Excited to see y'all boys. Shouts out to Tank, man. Hope everything is good on your end. But just happy to share this space, talk football. Excited about this upcoming season. Excited for these Sixers win this round. I feel like they could do the whole thing. So let's see where we going, man. But go Birds. That is always. And shout out to my wife again. She with the little homie, so I could come do this. So shouts out to her.
Nice.
That was a surprise tonight. I thought he was working.
You seen I came hustling.
Multitasking, bro. Multitasking.
Last word, Primo.
Yeah, I mean, making sure everything's good with Tank. Also sending our prayers to your way, Gail. Making sure Pops is good as well.
Absolutely.
Like I said, man, I'm not watching the game to the fourth quarter. I'm not trying to go through that
That's
frustration
wild.
tonight.
I can't believe it.
So,
doing it.
Evan, I know you're shaking your head, bro. Sorry, bro. I just can't do it, man. I watched these last 3 games, and I never been so pissed in my life, man.
I'm a big fan of self-loathing.
That's cool. I'm gonna go upstairs.
This how I'm watching the game right here, bro, on ESPN.
Yeah, that's it. I'll just wait till the end of the quarters as they keep popping up on the phone. Bro. And then
does that make you feel like you're not like you don't want to invest that emotion,
bro? I
invested emotion in the past 3 games. Man.
I only give the Eagles this level of emotion as far as
sports. That's why that's what I was headed to. I was like, so.
The only team I allow to play with my emotions like that is the Eagles, son. I don't get a Sixers that no more. Y'all dead to me, son.
That's a good answer.
Well, the good news is, honestly, that the fourth quarter is going to be starting by the time this podcast ends.
Yeah, don't you have like 3 TVs on the
He clearly is watching the game right now.
Last word, F.
No, I mean, we talked Birds all this time. My mind is in one mode right now, bro. I love the fucking Sixers, and I'm locked in right now. So that's really the only thing that's going through my mind. I hope that they're able to pull this off. To be honest with you, all hope was lost pretty much last game until we came, because I knew that we were gonna blow that shit, and then we were able to hang on by the skin of our teeth. And dude, if we could just get out of the second round, I am going to be over the moon, bro. Just get me out of the second round, bro. I want to go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Please.
God almighty. But, go Sixers, go Birds.
Thursday, schedule coming out.
Mark gives the update 22-15, actually 22-17 right now. Last word before I get out of here. Shout out to my dad, man. He got out of the hospital. Yes, and he's doing much better, still on the mend. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, I'm just happy to be, taking care of my pops, man. He's done a lot for me, my brother, and my family over the years. I'm telling you, man, good dude, and we're going to take care of him. And we're going to see you guys in the next one, as always.
Hold on. My bad, Gail. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. I got to give one more quick shout out. Sorry. My boy, Jimmy Knapp, he served in the military for 25 plus years. Ran into him this past weekend. Thank you for your service. Yes, big fan of the show. As I finally saw him after 15 years, he came up to me. He was like, 4th and Jawn. He was like, yo, I've been following you guys for a minute, and to know that you're on that team now, it makes me proud. So shout out to Jimmy. Shout out to Big Cuz, who just turned 50 this past weekend as well. You're the reason why I became an Eagles fan. I love you, dude. Happy birthday. All right, my bad, Gail. Now you can finish.
I want to make you finish some more. Shout out to your daughter and her happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Thank you. Happy birthday to my baby, man. She just turned 6 years old, my little princess. Yeah,
she's so smart, bro. Bro, she's so smart, bro.
She's getting smarter and smarter every day, man.
She's already smarter than you.
Yeah, and I'm proud of it.
That's how I'm supposed to, man. MJ better be smarter than my dumb ass. Like shit.
I bet she's watching the first quarter of the Sixers game.
She's definitely no. That's why she's smart, because she's not watching.
I was about to say she ain't up there. She watching something. She on that Blues Clues or something, bro. She ain't messing with that.
But I love you, baby. If you watching, I love you.
All right, y'all. We'll see you guys in the next one. Schedule release on Thursday if you're around.
Let's go.
Later, blokes.
All right.
40 Winers.
Peace out.